here at Amsterdam Whitney Art Gallery in Chelsea, New York. With us is the owner, Ruthie Tucker. Ruthie, tell us a little bit about this show.
Kristal, I am so delighted to have you here, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We give you an autumnal welcome here in Chelsea at Amsterdam Whitney Gallery. We're celebrating our 23rd anniversary here in Chelsea. The theme of our party is Autumn in New York, and we felt that John Peters' work, Gems of the Forest, so personifies the love of nature, the love of the environment, the beautiful colors. It really inaugurates the Chelsea art season. We have a cornucopia of riches here of art like John Peters' landscape, abstract, figurative, sculpture, and it's a very exciting exhibit with international and national artists. So we are delighted to have you all here. Also, we have a wonderful internationalist point of view from Yvonne Gallagher, that she's doing the skyscrapers and the city line of New York, which also inaugurates the love of New York and autumn in New York. And we have the wonderful artist, Fredi, Cohen, whose beautiful sculptural wall hangings personify and emblematize the magnificence of nature, of creativity, of women's views. We have Pierre, Geist, who's in from France. We have Roderick, Owen, who's also in from France. We have John is one of our wonderful U.S. artists. Our work is very exciting, and once again, we are so delighted to greet everyone, and we thank our wonderful and our fabulous, the Queen of Chelsea, Miss Kristal Hart.
All this beautiful color behind me is John Peters' work, all the way from Detroit, Michigan.
You got it.
I got it.
You got it, Kristal. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you.
I see you've sort of evolved a little.
I'm using in this series gems, jewels, rubies, emeralds, diamonds as inspiration for the foliage on these trees. And that's why it's called Gems of the Forest series.
Gems of the Forest. And how did you come up with this idea?
I had a friend who was a jeweler who's been very sick, and my wife and I did a book on his 3,800 pieces of jewelry creations. And during the process of doing the book, I got the idea of taking some of the gems and putting them on trees.
First, we have right over here a lot of the orange. Now tell me.
That's sapphire or fire opal. Fire opal. This is amethyst. That's emerald. And that's diamond. And I tried to do one of each of the major stones.
And tell me about the process.
The process is first I do the drawing. And the drawing takes most of the time because I have to get the movements of the gemstones right, and once I get the drawing done, then I have to choose my colors, which tend to be tonal because they're all different tones of the same color, and then I paint it in and play with it and change it and play with it and end up with what I have.
Kristal, Amsterdam Whitney Gallery is so proud to have our celebutante and our naturalist, Gores. Anne's been with us since at least 2011. Her wonderful husband, Tom, say hola.
Hola.
And her beautiful daughters,
Ciao. Catherine and Lauren. Hi.
Lauren.
Yeah.
And we are so thrilled. Anne came in from the state of Washington. Anne and Tom travel extensively and paints the beautiful nature of the world, the terrain, and radiates the harmony, the joy of the universe. So we radiate back to you and resonate our love, our joy, and our celestial blessings to have the whole Gores family here. Thank you, and our thanks to Kristal Hart. God bless you all.
Good to see you again, Anne. Now tell me a little bit about the evolution of your work.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me today and talking to me about my art, which is very dear to my heart. And I'm delighted to be back in New York to talk about my wildflower paintings, which I was inspired by these beautiful, it's called a wild bloom flowers because of all the rains in the desert, and then that spring, all the wildflowers pop open. And this painting here was done in is in my studio, and it's from a photograph of the desert wildflowers, sunflowers actually, in La Quinta area, Borrego Springs, California. And I went in the afternoon, early morning, and the shadows were casting in the sand, and then the mountains in the background, and the orange flowers against the blue sky, and I was just totally inspired to paint these beautiful flowers. Again, this is Borrego Springs, California, the super bloom of flowers in the springtime. It was just absolutely spectacular. The yellows and the pinks and the whites, it was absolutely beautiful. And I was inspired to paint this painting by all the beautiful flowers in nature, and the desert landscape is just very close to my heart because I live down there in the wintertime. So that's my wildflower painting from La Quinta. And this is another painting I did of the super bloom, sunflowers, and again, the orange and the blue radiates and reflects the light and casts these beautiful shadows in the morning light, when I think it's the best time to capture the flowers, when they're open, when the first sun in the morning casts its shadows in the sand. And that inspired me to paint this painting. And the fourth one is La Cucina Italiana, and this is from a trip to Italy that I took. And I peeked into the kitchen at a restaurant we were attending, and this is the scene I saw with the two chefs cooking and preparing food in Montalcino, Italy.
Kristal, Hart, may I introduce to you a celebutante, one of Autumn in New York, one of Amsterdam Whitney Gallery's greatest contemporary master artists, Ms. Fredi Cohen, Fredi Cohen. Fredi's work is marvelous, with turquoise, with nature, with resplendence, echoing the women's movement. She has designs, she has spirals, she has inner terrains, inner emotions, and it is my pleasure to introduce to you Miss Fredi Cohen.
Well, I'm basically a sculptor, but now what I've been doing is to combine a lot of other techniques and art forms with my sculpture to try to create harmony. And I'm calling this new series Visual Orchestra Series. So it was basically born out of my wanting to have some resolution to all of the polarity that's going on in the world. So what I did was I used several different artistic techniques, and I'm trying to make them work together. I try to create compositions that work together to create like a harmonious symphony, like the different instruments in an orchestra all sound different, and they're not, but when they cooperate, and when they listen to one another and they work together, you know, this is my way of curing what's going on, all of this, you know, arguing. It's too disturbing. This arguing is too disturbing. So I'm trying to make a symphony.
And a beautiful symphony. Over here?
Yep. Yes. This is called Open to Life, and it uses several different media forms. Sculpture is my primary medium, but this has several different drawing techniques, sculpture, various printing techniques, and you know, it seems very harmonious to me. And this is called Peacock Seductress. So I use several different feminine forms, sort of subliminal feminine forms, a lot in my sculptures. And here I've blended, this is called Happy Dream Sonata, and here I've blended several different techniques and different forms. And this is called Owning Beauty. This is a bronze piece, and this is from a different series, but it's all part of the same basic theme. Well, this is part of the same series. This is all this visual orchestra series, where I've used different techniques with sculpture as the primary medium, And then I've used other techniques with glass, with drawing, with texture mediums, with ancient printing techniques, and I've used them all together to create a harmonious composition, different ones. And that's another one of my sculptures that's called Woman Reading.
Kristal, it is my honor to introduce the Spanish-German artist, Mr. Alfredo Laporta, and his adorable daughter, Nina, Mademoiselle Nina. Hello, hola. And if you can observe, Alfredo, in my opinion, carries on the Cubist tradition and legacy of Picasso with his wonderful, wonderful artwork that is behind us. And Alfredo Laporta can tell you a little bit about each canvas. Thank you, Kristal, for honoring Alfredo Laporta.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. I am Alfredo Laporta, and I want to introduce you my doctor, Nina Laporta. And here my 3 words. And my art talk about people, man, woman, separate or together, and the more important thing in life, love. Here we have the woman representation, ancient woman, the essence of the woman, naked, with the basic things, beauty, the figure naked, and just a little dress, enough to be comfort. And here we have the man representation, the essence of the man, like an ancient man. The things that we are in connection between the ancient man and the modern man, the essence. Like the woman, naked, sorry my English, and with the food to provide. And there, both together. And there, both together, without nothing else but than they self naked, making maybe love.
Kristal, if you'll observe, this is, to me, a self-portrait of Alfredo Laporta. You can see his face, you can see his eye, and it renders so well the tactility. I'm always marveling. I can feel the beard. I can almost feel the bristle of the beard. Yes, I think it's so brilliantly done. So I just wanted to call that to our attention as we revel in the beautiful artwork of Alfredo. Thank you. Kristal, I'm delighted to introduce to you the Haitian-American artist and architect, Mr. Hudson Bruny, whose colorful chromatic work is right behind me. Hudson, would you care to say bonjour?
Bonjour.
Bonjour. This is wonderful. Hudson has created these wonderful non-objective, abstract works of art that configure an inner vision of the world with joy, with chromacity, with beautiful colors. They're kaleidoscopic. They reflect the joy of the universe and Hudson's deep heart soul. And we are honored to feature this contemporary master, Mr. Hudson Bruny.
It is a pleasure for me to be in that beautiful gallery in Manhattan to represent my painting. I like that moment. I like this moment. I think I wish that I will be in this gallery for a long time.
With us is Kathleen Stanley, and you came all the way from your West Coast artist?
Yes, Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. And with us, did you say this is Queen
Medusa.
Queen Medusa. Okay, now tell me, how did you get the idea to paint Queen Medusa?
Well, actually, back about 13 years ago, I entered a women's spirituality program, and Queen Medusa was appearing in my paintings. And so this is one of the paintings that I did of Queen Medusa. She's inspired, of course, many artists and poets and writers stemming back from her origin as a Greek myth from many, many years ago.
Tell us about the myth, because I'm not sure who she is or...
Well, the myth is recorded by Homer and Ovid and other artists in, thousands of years ago. And the myth is that Queen Medusa, well, she wasn't a queen back then, but she was a figure who, the notable thing about her was that her head, she was beheaded by Perseus because she had lain in the temple of Athena with the god Poseidon. And that's the myth. But what's interesting about about Medusa is that she's sort of a figure that, to me, has inspired women to reclaim their voice and to reclaim their identity, because her story kind of takes part at a time when women's identity and voices were being taken away by patriarchal forces. And so one of the things that I did in my studies in women's spirituality was I helped to create a ritual where we reattached her head.
Oh, okay.
And it was a very empowering ritual for the women who took part, because it was a metaphor for taking back our voices and for taking back our identity.
With us, all the way from France, and this is an international show, Pierre Geist, and he has sculptures, wall hangings behind me. Will you tell the audience?
Well, I'm very pleased to be in New York anyway. I'm an artist, performer, sculptor, and painter. Okay, I came from south of France, which is called Aix-en-Provence. Don't know if you know. My work is based on rhythm, only rhythm, because I think rhythm is just a consubstantial to our life. Okay, so the origin of rhythm, it's mainly a performance I did with a djembe and light everywhere. And the rhythm, it's not only based on our life, but when we breathe, when we walk, everywhere, it's everywhere. It's for this reason I was interested by rhythm. And it's not only rhythm, but it's rhythm with the complicity of the line. So because the line could rest sometimes, could hope sometimes, and like Signac or Kandinsky, they usually said about the line, its energy, its force, and our body, our mind are still full of energy. It's for this reason I am interested in rhythm. But not only for this reason, because when we mixed that with maybe Spinoza, maybe Damasio, Spinoza, Damasio, and they talk about emotion and feeling. And there is a kind of association between emotion and feeling, and we find the same thing in the rhythm. But the main question now is rhythm. Is it something static? When you look at a picture, for example, you see something static, and which is quite interesting. It's the transfer can come from something static to something emotional. So you feel something when you see something.
Kristal, we are going to say bonjour to our French-Canadian artist, Ma Ani. It's her nom d'artiste, Ma Ani, whose beautiful feminine work is right behind us. May I pass the microphone to our wonderful artist, Ma Ani.
This one is called Foil. It's the name of the fabric. The series is called The Dress, so it's all about dress, but it's also about women. And I paint those women because it's a way for me to get in touch with my own femininity. And I think that when we see beautiful, strong, like proud women, it's easier for us to become that afterwards. And I paint with a technique that uses tape. So every little zone of color has been taped, and then I put at least 5 coats of paint because I like when the paint is solid and flat, and then I take the tape away and I do another little zone of color. So it takes at least 150 hours of work to do one painting. But painting is what I like to do most in my life, so I like it that it takes a long time to paint my painting. This one is called Polka Dot because I have This one is called Giraffe, and I like this one a lot because I'm a giraffe and she has giraffe on her dress. And this one is called Ruffle, but Miss Ruthie calls her Frou-Frou, Frou-Frou in French.
Now, this is sort of interesting. We have a French artist here, and one of our guests speaks French, and so he is now going to take over this interview. And as you see, well, we're going to find out more.
Je m'appelle Roderick Owen, et je suis sculpteur d'escarpins contemporains en fer forgé.
Okay, so you do forged steel, high heels. Can you tell me a bit about your work?
J'aime beaucoup créer des escarpins élégants, très élégants.
Okay.
Très élégants.
Okay, so I like to make elegant high heels.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about your work?
Je travaille l'acier, car c'est un matériau éternel.
Okay.
Éternel.
Okay, I like to work with forged steel because it's a very strong and eternal material. So the story of this high heel
raconte un homme qui perd sa femme.
So it's a story about a man who loses his wife.
Cette partie-là,
So this part,
avec les glaçons et le verre,
with the ice and the glass,
whisky,
glass. So these ice cubes in blue represent the tears of the man who lost his wife. And the high heel represents the woman he lost, whose dream was to come to New York. So we can see New York here, yep, okay. What's the story behind this?
Alors, cet escarpin représente la possession.
Ah, the possession.
The possession. Quand on aime quelque chose tellement fort qu'on ne veut pas nous l'enlever.
Something we want so much, something we love so much, we want to keep it for the rest of our lives.
Et si tu essaies de me l'enlever,
and if I try to take it,
je te pique.
I will hurt you. I will harm you with these spikes. Wonderful, funny story.
Thank you.
Kristal, we have had so much joy here with these wonderful artists. They have radiated so much joie de vivre from France. We are so delighted to have Pierre Geist. We are so delighted to have Roderick Owen and Pierre Geist's wonderful son, Jean-Marc, translating. This is outstanding work here in Chelsea, and we hope you'll all come down and enjoy this ravishing exhibition. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Kristal, we are so proud to have an internationalist view of New York to also inaugurate with champagne kisses and caviar hugs Miss Yvonne Gallagher, who is in from Australia.
Sydney, Australia.
Australia. And when did you arrive?
This morning.
Yes,
Just
you look gorgeous and not jet lagged. And we are so thrilled. I think Kristal's beauty radiates on you. And Yvonne Gallagher's art are the skyline of New York City. As I say, reach for the stars. Her paintbrush is neo-impressionist with the blue colors, and we have Harlem Harmony. Tell us a little bit about Harlem Harmony.
Yes, sure. So my artwork, people have said that it's a modern twist of Impressionism on Claude Monet. So you can see that I use blue to capture the sky. It's such a versatile color. It can capture everything from the sky to the sea. And it's a color that invokes tranquility and a sense of calmness in me. And I hope that's what the viewer can feel when they look at the artwork. So I painted this artwork when I was here, so last year in December with my family. My artwork is inspired by my travel. So I capture the iconic views and the feeling of nostalgia that I get when I visit new places. As you get new experiences, you want to capture that in your artwork, and that's what I try to do with my painting. So that's the view of Manhattan when you're on the ferry. My artwork tends to have a lot of blues in front of me because I love paddleboarding, I love swimming, I love sailing, I love going on the ferry, I love being close to the ocean. So the view of the artwork, you will always see the ocean in front of you, and then the landscape of the building, the cityscape or the architecture behind it. And this is just Manhattan during the sunset, so we call that the golden hour. And so these two are a set of the painting. And this is actually, these two here, Blue Jazz, they are actually not New York, but of northern beaches where I live in Sydney, Australia. So I call this urban oasis. So my work is inspired by my travel. I tend to capture the iconic places and the views and the memories that it brings to me, and I hope that when the viewers see that, it brings them the inspiration and the serenity when they view the artwork.
Well, we've been here at Amsterdam Whitney Gallery, once again with Ruthie Tucker, with us John Peters. It's been a wonderful show, Ruthie.
Thank you, Kristal, and thank you to all of our artists. How lucky am I to have the wonderful Kristal Hart? How lucky am I to have the fabulous John Peters and all of our wonderful artists? So God bless, be well. Come down and visit us here at 210 11th Avenue, our 23rd anniversary, Amsterdam Whitney Gallery. We love you and thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.